hysteria around the civil rights movement, this new movement that was going to give equality to people from different races and stuff. And I was like, a lot of that sounds like the stuff that's happening right now, both here and in America. And I was like, man, this couldn't be more relevant if I tried. This is right on the money right now.
Well, hello there, folks. Ryan Calais Cameron's critically acclaimed drama Retrograde, starring Ivanno Jeremiah as Sidney Poitier, has now transferred here to the Apollo Theatre in London's West End. Earlier, we caught up with the cast, Ryan, and director Amit Sharma to find out more about this important and timely play.
I mean, I'm over the moon. I think even the conversation about for black boys going to the West End was crazy, let alone it, coming to reality. So to have another show back in and to sell third year in the West End is an incredible feat. And I'm really excited.
So I was joining Kiln as associate director, and I was sent like a whole load of scripts. And the very first script that I read was Retrograde. And as soon as I finished it, I just had like this spine-tingingly feeling of just like, this is just immense, this play. And I emailed Indu, who was artistic director at the time, and I said, brilliant play. Anyone directing this? And luckily there wasn't.
I think that the Kiln run was mind-blowing. It's really interesting. I was directing for Black Boys whilst the show was in rehearsals here. So I think, I kind of saw it at his world premiere with everybody else. And, probably was one of the most anxiety-ridden nights of my life, and I remember sitting there going, it's actually really good. actually really good, right? I really wanted to try and do something different with this play, and create this kind of historical or political thriller, the kind of narrative structure, completely different than anything I'd written before. So I think that was my heart was beating, going, oh my God, am I able to do what I feel like I really can do. So getting that response from the audience and also from critics as well, who came and spread the word about this show. So everybody, it's a community. It's a community. We're all going to the West End.
Is it daunting to play such an icon as Sidney Poitier? It is. I mean, what a man, a monolith, someone who spent a total of 50 years on our screens and charted from President Hoover through President Biden. So yeah, I mean, no small life to try and give the essence of.
Retrograde is a period political thriller set in the golden age of Hollywood, with Sidney Poitier being asked to sign a contract that can change his whole entire life. But what is he willing to give for that chance to do that?
I played Bobby, who is a struggling writer who lives in New York City with his wife and children. And he's been hustling away in the industry for 10 years, desperately trying to achieve the respect that he feels that he deserves. He's a very good friend of Sidney Poitier's, and he truly believes in Sidney's magnetism and talent and his potential as a future movie star. So he writes a leading role for Sidney in his script, which is called A Man is 10 Feet Tall. Which is pretty progressive and radical for the time because it features a black man in a leading role, which is a first in television history.
So I suppose from my point of view, this is what the play is about, my character. I play Larry Parks. He's an entertainment lawyer, 1955, New York. It's set in a corner office high overlooking Manhattan. He's between LA. He goes to the Oscars every year, so he's connected. Set on a morning when a young Sidney Poitier is coming in to sign his contract for the big break, his big break in TV drama. He's going to lead a primetime TV movie. He's going to be the first black man to do it. And we start off with the writer and auteur, director of the piece, Bobby. He's written it, he's going to direct it, he's signing his contract. There's a bit of banter between the two men. And then Sidney's on his way up. And of course, there are a few preconditions for Sidney before he gets to do this. We're at the height of McCarthyism. The civil rights movement is beginning to rise, and the patriarchy is getting nervous.
having Colman Domingo as part of our team just it's been incredible. You know, it's like having a big brother / uncle that can come in and put his arm around us and really give us that level of endorsement. You know, you've got a play that's about one of Hollywood's biggest icons, and you've now got another Hollywood icon that's endorsing it, which I think all of us, it gives us an extra kind of boost, especially a play being so American, and Colman's also the head of the Sidney Poitier Society out there in the States, so it just made sense, this kind of alignment, and he's just a really cool guy.
How does the play resonate with the times we find ourselves today? Look, you know, racism hasn't gone away. Big shock horror. And now there's discrimination. But I think, like, you know, sometimes with, I mean, in this case, with Sidney Poitier being a black actor, the responsibility of representing so many different people. And I think, you know, for me, as a disabled man, as a British Indian man, I can really kind of identify with the responsibility that you have in spaces where there's not that many people who kind of look like you, let alone have the great sense of humor as I do. You know, you've got to really represent.
I think the play engages with questions that are still very present in the sort of cultural debate, issues that haven't gone away, namely racism. But I think more than that, it asks questions about where your loyalties lie, what your values are, and what you would be willing to sacrifice in order to achieve material gain, really.
I'm very happy that names like Paul Robeson, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier are even mentioned. And these seem to be greats that I've had some difficulty finding out, you know, some information in some of the films and some of the history about them. So hopefully in sharing it in the West End that we start these conversations and bring their names back into the room. And from that, kind of see the great shoulders that we're standing on.
Well, yeah, hopefully we'll be packed full of people, and the audience will take away that they've been at a great night's entertaining, compelling, stimulating, stirring piece of theatre. We'll make you laugh, we'll thrill you, and we'll make you think and talk afterwards.
I think a lot of times you go, okay, yeah, you know, this play is for everybody. And, you know, the last play I had out in the West End was called For Black Boys. I was very clear about who I was creating the show for, but I'm very intentional with this one. You know, I really want people who love Sidney Poitier, people who've never ever heard of him, people that love kind of political, tense thrillers, people that have never seen one before, or people that are maybe fans of my work, or people that have maybe never heard of me. I honestly feel like there's something in this for all audiences, new and old, yeah.
Retrograde continues its limited run here at the Apollo Theatre until the 14th of June 2025. As always, you can leave your thoughts about the show in the comments section down below. But please, for the love of the late great Sidney Poitier, keep it kind. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell for notifications. And I'll see you next time for What's on Stage.
And I believe you and Oliver have joined for this. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So
Stan and Ollie, they brought in the A-team. No, I didn't say that.